Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Isa and I am a second year graduate student in communication studies and I'll be graduating this May. So today I'll be ending my short series on graduate school as a disabled graduate student with the 4 big lessons that I have learned so far in grad school. Of course, I still have a couple more months left that I can definitely learn a few more things, but I wanted to do something as I go into this final semester. So let's jump in. So the first thing that I have learned, and I've learned the hard way over and over again, is the value of imperfection. There's a really great little saying that we tell each other in the program that is done is good by definition, and that sometimes when we're so focused on trying to put together the most perfect content, we're all considered high achievers and a little anal sometimes with the content that we give our instructors. So it's really important to us that we do well, but sometimes that perfectionism keeps us from exploring what we're supposed to be exploring. We're supposed to be learning, we're supposed to be growing. And that's something that you'll learn throughout your grad program, is that you're constantly not going to be perfect, but that embracing of the imperfection is ultimately what leads you to the most growth. If I can jump on to some Encanto lyrics from Isa's song, I'm a little partial to her because of the name shared, but what else could I do if I just knew I didn't have to be perfect? And I know I just kind of said that idea already, but I really think what Isa's saying in this and kind of shown throughout that song is that sometimes just letting go of perfection can mean that you make and create and do things that you never thought you would do if you were holding yourself to this image of perfection. I have definitely grown, but it has not always been by constantly upping my perfection. It's embracing my imperfection and allowing that as an opportunity to explore. One thing that my advisor says all the time is that your master's program is really the thing that gives you the opportunity to explore what you're passionate about, what you want to do, where you're going with your research, where you're going with your life. And in order to do that, you have to get your hands messy. And you can get them clean later in life, but really it's time to explore and be messy and be imperfect. The second thing is something that I have coined, but I think is really important lesson, is that the first year you're getting so much information that you feel like you know nothing, but you don't realize how much you know. And then your second year is that opportunity to start getting the language for what you know. And that may seem complicated if you're not currently in grad school, but it is something that I think I would have found comforting in my first year, and it's something that I've told the first years in my program, is that you can feel so dumb all the time because you're learning all of this content. You're getting just this constant rush of content and information that you never thought about before, and you're learning about the social construction of reality and all of this stuff. And it really is having these really incredible classes in the first year and having that kind of wash of information that first year, that when you get the wash of information the second year, you start picking up on some of the language. And it's not necessarily that the content ever gets easier, because it's definitely difficult all the way through, but there's just new ways of being able to communicate what you're thinking, and you definitely see that part of yourself grow. And you just have to get through that muddy part where all of this information is just kind of up here, and you just kind of have to let it learn how to come out your mouth. This third lesson is one, it's a little painful to learn. It's one that I've been learning right now, and that is, you may not be the person that you had planned to be when you come out of your grad program, but that is okay. I definitely went into my grad program thinking that I was going to go straight into PhD and then I was going to do all this research. However, between the pandemic and some other life circumstances, I got a little burnt out my first year, and I'm still recovering from that, and so I'm taking a break and trying to find ways to kind of acknowledge that every step of the way is important, and that even if I'm not the person that I had planned to be, that is still an incredible thing, and everything can serve to who I am later in life. one of the best essays that I read last year was for a book review, and it was just really incredible to see these people just talk about their own experience. And I'll have the title of the book below because I can't remember at the top of my head. But it was just all of these communication scholars really just talking about the development of their research from the time that they were a master's student to being a tenured professor at their university. And it was just, these professors who were doing this research that is so different from the research that they ended up doing later in life, and yet every step served them. And so trying to acknowledge that, I may not be the person I had planned, but I am still on a path of becoming a better person, a better member of society, just growing and being and learning all the time. The final lesson is one that I was told my first year, in my first semester, but I am still learning, and that is you can't and won't do your best work on fumes. You have to first take care of yourself in order to ultimately take care of your work. I learned that from my social cognition class. It was the first thing my professor told us, is that you need to take care of yourself first, that you have all of these commitments, all of these things going on all the time, and all of these temptations to just let the thing that slides is your care for yourself. But when you scrape to the bottom of that energy barrel, there's no way that you could do the work that you would do if you had just cared for yourself first. And that kind of goes into the imperfection thing just a little bit when you combine it with the done is good by definition, is that sometimes you just can't do your best work, and that's fine. To get through this moment, you may just have to be working on fumes, but giving yourself the space and the freedom to say, hey, here's a paper I wrote. I'm just trying to get through this moment. It's been a really rough 2 weeks. It's not my best work. It's not going to be my best work. However, it's not a reflection of who I am. And it's strange that grad schools taught me this. It's really strange that I'm learning it now. But I definitely think that due to life circumstances, due to my program, due to the people in my life, that is something that I have learned through grad school that I hope to take with me in every moment of my life, so that I can continue balancing my care for myself with my passion for my work. So those are the 4 lessons that I have learned in grad school. I know this is a little shorter video, but if you would like to learn more about graduate school as a disabled student, feel free to leave questions below. I have a couple different videos planned in the future. I'm very excited about. I'm going to be using a lot of the research that I did for grad school in my videos, so that I can double dip a little bit more. That's one thing that I didn't mention, but double dipping is very nice. So I'll see you real soon. Have a great time. Bye.